What's up, everybody? I'm Marcus.
And I'm Kayla.
And we are the father-daughter portion of the Rembert Property Group, your Chicagoland real estate resource, selling the skylines to the suburbs. And what we do in our segments here, we talk about two things that we're passionate about: wine and real estate. So today we are going to start off by reviewing a bottle of wine, which is a Riesling 2019 by DR. I've never had this before or drinking anything from this particular brand, so we're going to be trying it out here for the first time in front of you. All right.
Let's see. Okay, I'll start. So how we categorize the wines are whether we would rent or own them. So how does that work?
Yeah, so actually this one, I would own this one. As far as a Riesling goes, sometimes I come across Rieslings that may be a little bit on the sweet side for me. And this one, actually, I like that it has some dry notes to it and it finishes on the palate well. So I would own this one.
I agree. Totally owning this. Except it's dry. It's drier, but it's really, really smooth.
Yep. All right, so moving on to real estate. We're going to talk about something that's not only specific to the Chicagoland market. However, it's you find it in some states, but we are in the Chicagoland market. We are what's called an attorney real estate market. Right, so that means if you're buying or selling real estate anywhere in Chicago or what we call the collar counties, the counties that directly surround the city of Chicago, 9.9 times out of 10, you're going to have a real estate attorney involved in the transaction, whether they're representing you on the buy or the sell side. Right, so why this is key is because we do have clients, whether they're from outside of the state of Illinois or downstate Illinois, are involved in real estate transactions where this is a foreign concept to them. So what would you say are just a couple of key points that people should know about using real estate attorneys?
Yeah, so I'll say in one of the things that was a little shocking to me at first, I've only ever worked in the Chicagoland area. So remember, I had somebody reach out to me for a referral from another state, KW agent, and she was very confused because she said she had sent a referral before and she felt like we didn't have any. She felt like as realtors, we weren't doing anything because the attorney appears to negotiate on our behalf. But it's one of the really, what I think is awesome parts of having a real estate attorney. So while they're not necessarily negotiating for you, they speak for us almost. So the seller's attorney and the buyer's attorney will talk, and then they'll facilitate a lot of things. And just legally make sure that the buyer or seller is covered. So they're going to go over once you get your inspection back, we'll go over the inspection with you, and then they'll also go over it with the buyer as well, if you're on the buy side, and then we will work together to formulate a response or some asks to the seller. And then they're also going to be looking up stuff that, if the property has any liens, make sure that the people who are selling the property actually own the property, searching title to make sure, everything is good. They are going to be at the closing to review all of the documents with you, which is really awesome. I love working with our attorneys because they're super knowledgeable. So they'll tell you even things like they'll go over the payment schedule, with our buyers, and then show you if you have private mortgage insurance, they'll walk you through it and show you exactly where that's going to fall off on the payment schedule, because there's just some little things with it that make it, can be confusing to the buyer. And so they explain that to you, and just so legally you feel really covered during the process.
Yeah. And one of the things for any realtors that are not in attorney states, some of these steps they will do themselves. However, like Kayla said, we really like this concept in the state of Illinois because now we get to specialize on the real estate side of things. Then we have a specialist on the legal side of things, and you're more than covered from that aspect. Now, one of the questions that will come up was like, man, well, attorneys can be expensive. Well, the great thing is if you're using a realtor, that is typically a flat fee that falls somewhere between $500 and $700, no matter if they work on your real estate deal for 5 hours or 50 hours. It's just a flat fee on the buy side. And then it's similar on the sell side, except there may be some other title related expenses as well. So just something to keep in mind. Side note on that, one thing I have learned too, in being in the business for a while, is that one of the main errors and omissions issues in a real estate deal, or what we call E&O, are related to legal items. So we tend to not have those as much in the Chicagoland area because we have legal experts involved in the transaction, typically on both sides.
And another thing, as he was talking about the payment for a real estate attorney, it's well worth it, absolutely. But also that comes right out of your closing costs. So you're not cutting them a check for that at any point during the process. You'll see that on your closing statement as part of it. So it's not an additional expense like an inspection or an appraisal. Right. And another thing is, it's just nice to have that other person who is also fighting for you during the process. So it's just two people who have your best interest at heart. And my dad knows I like new construction a lot. And a lot of times for new construction, the builders will say that you don't need a real estate attorney. However, I advise all my clients to get their own real estate attorney, because the builder does have one. However, they are employed by the builder, so they have the builder's best interest in mind and not necessarily yours. So you want an attorney who is looking out for you and legally is, just going over and looking at it from a objective standpoint and not, thinking, okay, who cuts my paycheck? How am I, how can I make this look the best for the builder?
Yep, exactly. And on the topic of attorneys, we have our attorneys. We love them. They have a proven track record. However, we always give our clients the opportunity to bring their own attorney into the process. One thing we do strongly recommend is making sure that person's a real estate attorney.
Yes.
Because sometimes you will have people who say, I know someone, they're an attorney. Well, our first question is, okay, what type of law do they practice? Because sometimes an attorney who may practice in another area of law may feel like, I can easily handle a real estate deal. And then if you get into some like really sticky spots in that real estate deal, if they don't understand the nuances and ins and outs of how to deal with that, it could negatively impact you as the buyer or the seller.
Absolutely. It's almost like having a doctor, look at, like a foot doctor, look at your knee.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they can't do it.
Yeah.
However, that's not what they specialize in. So it's just, we want to make sure you're covered in the best way you can be.
Yep. All right. So with that, we would love for you to, give us your feedback. Let us know what you think. Let's try to keep it kind. I know the subject of attorneys can really invoke a lot of emotions from people. However, let us know what you think. If you're from a state where you haven't used attorneys, how do you handle that? Also, please like and subscribe to our video and the channel. And if you have any topics that you'd like us to cover coming up, or any wines you'd like us to review, please don't hesitate to leave us a message. Or if you're even looking for a great attorney recommendation, reach out to us. We'd love to share our resources with you.
Yep. And if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in the Chicagoland area, please give us a call.
Yep. And with that, as we always say, life is a gift from God.
Style is how you live it.
Cheers.